Okay, this tutorial is on walking and turning. First of all, it's very, very important. Whenever you're making a video game, before you jump into building a huge level, you need to create your character, get your character working properly. Get it collecting things in a small area this size is absolutely fine. First thing we're going to do then is we're going to grab a cube, remembering that all characters start out as a cube and then have a puppet inside. If you know your puppet's going to be really tall, then create a tall cube. If you know your puppet's going to be short and square, then leave it as it is. Easy. First thing we need to do, go up to the top and set it to Blender Game. We then need to come over to the physics section and set it to dynamic. So if we press P, it falls. We could also do with turning on collision bounds for this and for the floor. We go back, click on our object. We make sure we name our object, player 1. And we make sure that we name our materials if we give it one. But for now, we haven't got one. Come down to the bottom left-hand corner of the screen and set it to the logic editor. Lift it up. This properties section we can get rid of it just by pulling it over. So, making sure we've got our player 1 selected, we had a keyboard sensor, call it forward, and the key we're going to use is the up key. You could use WASD if you wanted to. For now, I'm just going to use that. I'm going to add another one, keyboard, I'm going to call it back. I'm going to use the down key. Another one, which is called left. Left key. And final one called right. With the right key. Okay, whenever we want to control an object, we need a motion actuator. So that's what we're going to go to, motion. And it looks quite complicated. First of all, we look and we can see we want to make it go forward. So we name it forward. Let's break it down. The location allows it to shift location forwards and backwards, almost like teleporting. Rotation will turn it. Everything below that is if you have turned the object to dynamics. So all of these things work with gravity. So force will make it accelerate like a car. However, it won't move instantly and it will have gravity holding it down. Torque is a twist in motion. Linear velocity allows us to jump while we're still moving forwards. And angular velocity turns as well. So the only real ones we use are linear velocity and force. Okay, for now though, because we just want our character to move forwards and backwards and turn, we're going to concentrate on these two sections at the top, which narrows it down quite a lot. Then we need to think, which direction do we want it to move? Well look, we've got arrows sticking out of the object. So if we want to make it move this way, then we can see the green arrow is pointing this way, and down here we can see that the green arrow is the y-axis, x, y, z. So it's going to be the center one. Now we just need to ask ourselves, is it a positive or a negative number? Well, you can see here, if it moves this way or this way, it's moving along the same axis, the y-axis. But if it moves this way, it's moving towards the arrowhead, and towards the arrowhead is a positive number. And away from the arrowhead, this way, because there's no green arrowhead here, is a negative number. So, we want to make it move forward. Now, because it's teleporting, for location we use a tiny number, a fraction. For the rest of them, we use a large whole number. So let's make it move forward this way, in the y-axis, 0.01. Join it together and test it. P for play, forward. That moves really slowly, and the reason why it's moving really slowly is because before I turned my gravity up by going into this section and turning the gravity up for 20. Now if you haven't turned the gravity up to 20, 0.01 might work really quickly. I'm now going to change it to 0.0. In fact, let's try 0.1. P for play and press forward. A little bit fast. 0.07. Keep playing with it until you get it right. Just remember to use a positive number. Perfect. Okay, so we know to go backwards is going to be this exact same one. It's just going to be a negative number. So, motion actuator, back. Y-axis going backwards. Again, y-axis negative number. We use 0.7 to go forwards. You don't move backwards quite as quickly, so minus 0.4 might work quite well. Test it. Forwards works, backwards works. Backwards was really, really quick. Let's figure out why it was really, really quick. Well, let's go into forward. So we use 0.07, and here I've used 0.4. So it's minus 0.04. The larger the number, the larger the speed. That works perfectly. So make it turn left, motion actuator. Call it left. Dead simple. If you want to make something turn this way, look. It's got the blue line coming down between it. So what we actually want to do is use this blue line Z. Whenever a car turns, person turns, it's the Z axis. And obviously it's going to be rotation, not location. So rotation, X, Y, Z. To go to the left is always a positive number, so I'm going to use 3. If using something like, if you're making a first person shooter, in order to be accurate, you might want to use something else. That goes left. Motion actuator. Right. Again, Z axis, rotation, the opposite, so minus 3. All my labels are complete. Left, right, forwards, backwards. Awesome.